Chapter 7. A Shadow on the Window. Miss Harmon struck the cement floor at the foot of the stairs and lay perfectly still. In horror, Penny and her father rushed down to pick her up. The doorman, summoned by the young woman's shrill scream, came running to assist. "Are you hurt?" Mr. Parker asked gently, raising Miss Harmon from the floor. A deep gash had been cut in the dancer's forehead just above her left eye. Penny stopped the flow of blood with her clean handkerchief. Miss Harmon did not try to answer Mr. Parker's question, but she stirred painfully. She moved her arms and legs, satisfied herself that no bones had been broken. "Better get a doctor," Mr. Parker said to the doorman. "Miss Harmon is badly shaken." "No, wait," the dancer ordered. "I'll be all right in a minute." She allowed Mr. Parker and Penny to lift her to a standing position. The doorman brought a chair, and seating Mrs. Harmon on it, the two men carried her up the stairs to the dressing room. Penny, running ahead, flung open the door. Her unexpected arrival caught Felice by surprise, for the maid had been examining Miss Harmon's jewelry case. She swirled around, a look of guilt upon her face. "Miss Harmon fell downstairs," Penny said, giving the maid a sharp glance. While Felice stood helpless by, they stretched the injured woman on the chaise lounge. She moaned softly with pain. "Cold packs," Mr. Parker ordered. Felice did not understand what he meant, so Penny ran to the bathroom for heavy towels which she soaked in cold water. She wrung them out and applied them to Miss Harmon's forehead. "Oh, that feels good," the dancer murmured gratefully. "I think I should send for a doctor," suggested Mr. Parker. "No, please," Miss Harmon protested. "I'll soon be all right. I'm only bruised." "You have a very ugly cut on your forehead," Penny said. "It should be bandaged." Miss Harmon raised her hand to her head, feeling the gash. "Felice, my mirror," she requested in a frightened voice. "Oh, if I'm marked, my career may be finished." "I don't believe there will be a scar," Penny assured her. Miss Harmon carefully studied her face in the mirror and then dropped back against the pillow. "Every muscle in her poor body is battered," she complained. "I'll never be able to dance tomorrow." "No, of course not," Mr. Parker agreed. "You had a very hard fall." "But I shall dance," Miss Harmon contradicted herself. "I can't afford to drop out of the show even for a day. I'll take a Turkish bath. Perhaps that will keep me from getting so stiff and muscle-bound." "My advice to you is to remain in bed for several days," said Mr. Parker, "and you should have a doctor." "No, the last time I called a doctor, he sent me to the hospital. I gained 10 pounds and lost my place in the show." "If you're so determined, I suppose there is nothing more to say. At least we'll bandage up that cut. Felice, will you get me a piece of gauze and some tape?" "Gauze?" repeated the maid in a stupid way. "We don't have any here." "You might try the drugstore across the street. They probably have some." Felice scowled, for she did not care to do the errand. She glanced questioningly towards her mistress. "Oh, never mind, Felice," Miss Harmon said. "A bandage would look so disfiguring. We'll let it go this way." Thus overruled, Mr. Parker shrugged and reached for his hat. He felt there was nothing more that he could do for the young woman. "How did the accident happen, miss?" asked the old doorman who had lingered in the dressing room. "I don't know," Miss Harmon replied. A queer expression came over her face. "I must have tripped on the carpet. I was glancing at the window." "Did you see something which startled you?" questioned Penny, watching the dancer closely. Miss Harmon hesitated. "Yes," she answered in a low tone. "I thought, but probably I was mistaken." "What do you think you saw?" prompted Mr. Parker. Miss Harmon half raised up from the pillow, and a little shiver went over her body. "It was a shadow," she whispered, "or perhaps a grotesque human figure outlined against the window. Oh, it was horrible!" "Can't you describe the shadow?" Penny urged. The dancer shook her head. "My impression was such a fleeting one. The shadow might have been made by a person who was terribly disformed, probably a hunchback." "It's really bad luck to see anything like that," declared Felice in awe. Ignoring the maid's remark, Mr. Parker turned to the old doorman. "You might take a look around the building," he suggested. However, the chances are low that if anyone were at the window, he'd be gone by now. I'll search the alley right away, the old man promised, eager to be of service. If there's any peepin' Tom around, I'll get him. After the doorman had gone, Miss Harmon lay for a moment with her eyes closed. This makes the second accident I've had within the past week, she said thoughtfully, and yesterday I ran a splinter deep into my finger. So many things seem to have gone wrong. Maybe you never should have kept that witch doll, Felice interposed. What has that to do with it? Questioned Miss Harmon. The witch doll may be an omen of bad luck, Felice hinted maliciously. I'd never have kept it if I had been in your place. Superstitious rubbish, exclaimed Mr. Parker. A man of brief patience, he had no tolerance for persons who professed to believe in the supernatural. He had made up his mind that the maid either stupidly or deliberately was playing upon the feelings of her mistress. Felice, angered by Mr. Parker's blunt words, glared at him and coldly turned her back. A warning note was sent with the doll, Miss Harmon commented. I was told that I could not give the doll away. At the time, I did not think very much about it. I'd give it no thought now, said Penny. How could a doll bring one bad luck? Why, if anything, it really has brought you good fortune. Wasn't your witch doll dance a tremendous success? Yes, agreed Miss Harmon. Her face brightened. You are right. I don't see how the witch doll could have been responsible for my accident tonight. Footsteps were heard in the hallway, and the door of the dressing room suddenly opened. The old man, Hank Buntsell, who had been sent to search the alley, came hurriedly inside. He closed the door behind him in a fruited manner. Come quick, sir, he said, addressing Mr. Parker. Did you find anyone in the alley? Asked the newspaper owner, surprised by the man's urgent tone. Not a person, answered the doorman, and those in the room saw that his eyes were dilated with fear. But on the wall, sir, it's sure enough to scare the wits from my body. Come, I'll show you. Do-do-do-do.